Welcome, everybody. This is the In the Black mission briefing. This is actually number 9. Wow, we've done this 9 times. That's cool. We're hitting that number 10 milestone next week. So we do this every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, unless there's any special circumstances that make us change the time, like it was during Thanksgiving holiday. But typically every week on Saturday. And this is mostly my opportunity to share with the community the work that the studio has done. Some of this I'm also learning at the same time with you, because most of my time this project is on the weekends. And we have a dev team that's working on the project day to day and working with our community. So very happy to have 2 special guests here. Our associate producer, Alex Wood. Hey, Alex.
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for joining us today. Alex, actually, special guest because he can't always join on Saturdays due to a day job. So I'm really happy you're able to carve time today. Mr. Westman, thank you for joining us, our producer, and it says here principal designer. I'll let you and Jack handle that, hash that out. But great to have you with us. I know you guys both collaborate in a lot of the stuff in the game. We are here to actually take your questions also, in addition to share our news from this past week and what we're working on towards next. So feel free to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. If you've already got the demo, if you're playing it, let us know how you feel about it. Any questions, comments? Now's your time to ask us for our weekly mission briefing. All right, we're going to dive right in. The big thing that we want to make sure that we are communicating very openly about is how soon we're able to launch early access. We talked about this last week. We are shooting for ASAP. The good news is that I think that the team is within 2 to 4 weeks of finishing the milestone we need for early access delivery. Internally, the team's telling me 2 weeks. I usually pad that out by doubling it because you never know what's going to happen as we hit those last days. It's usually a safer way to go. So if we're about a month out, that puts us, looking at the calendar now, beginning of January. Challenge with launching anything in the beginning of January is that it's the beginning of January. That's probably the worst time to launch a game in terms of lots of other stuff happening from the holidays, other sales happening, lots of people opening their and enjoying their holiday presents. So realistically, from a timeline perspective, we're probably looking at the end of January as probably the safest time to launch the early access. So that's what I'm leaning towards now. But I'm looking forward to talking about this more with not only with our team, but also with the community. Let me actually throw this out there too. If we do finish most of the work within 2 to 4 weeks, that means we'll have some time between the game being finalized for early access and the date we actually launch. And now, as most of you know, probably if you've been part of the community for a while, we have a very kind of development-focused team. We're not a marketing team by any stretch. None of us on the team has any strong experience with marketing. And that's where the community can kind of come in and help us, actually. And maybe we can leverage that time between when we're done with the game and launching on early access. I was just thinking about this last night. Might be interesting strategy. And because some of our hardcore fans, like I see some people in the chat asking about the head tracking. We're going to hit this in a second, actually. So this is a great question. Great to see you guys joining us today. So for the hardcore fans, including those that watch this live stream, obviously this is a two-way communication. I would love to know if some of the hardcore fans out there would be interested in maybe getting early access to our early access build with the promise that you are actually helping to create tutorials or some kind of video content to raise awareness of the game and help those people that will jump in early access get in the best way possible. We have actually been doing, I think, a pretty good job, actually, thanks to Al and Dave, and most especially Nathan on our team for producing some really great high-quality video shorts on different areas of the game. But I'd like to throw that back to the community to see what kind of content they come up with, especially if we can give early access to these players. So let us know if this is something that interests you, and reach out to us on our community Discord server, which is In the Black, and we will we'll discuss that further. Okay, so before I jump into things, I wanted to touch base with first Al and Dave. So you guys have actually been pretty busy this week. Al, we're going to go through the team update from the rest of the team, but what would you like to share about what kind of like what's in your mind and like what's the important thing you got done this week and what are you working on next?
So I feel like the important thing that we've been working on so far is we got the chapters of like as far as the live stream goes,
Yeah.
we've made that user friendly, going through and making sure that the chapters are added in there, making sure that we're going through and putting in edited versions of those live streams. So if you're short on time, you can watch a more condensed version that kind of gives you the big heavy hitters that we discussed throughout that certain stream. We're also going through and we're making better shorts, I would say, that are more condensed and have the information that you need. And I believe that we're going to be putting those in game, maybe. I noticed our requirements for that. Not to mention, we're still doing the shorts, like the weapons video just went live. I'm working closely with Nathan. But yeah,
I think that's the video we played last week on the live stream, right? The Sea Whiz one?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, we debuted that last week. Your mic sounds fine, but I do think it's using the webcam mic and not the standalone. But we can still understand everything you're saying. This doesn't have the extra radio sharpness to it. Westman, you've also, so thanks to Alex, that's very helpful. And yeah, I'm really happy you've been able to tackle those the timestamps or live streams. I think that's super helpful for people watching. So you don't have to watch the whole thing. If you really just focused on, hey, I just want to know about joysticks, or I want to know about head tracking, you can go right to those sections of live streaming. Speaking of which, Dave, you've been you've also been pretty busy in personal life in the past week, but you did get some time at the end of this week to do some testing. We're going to touch on some of the back end improvements, but general, what's your high level kind of feedback on the kind of how that's going from your perspective?
Really well. I'm really happy with what Noah has implemented. Not only is there just everything that you could possibly want to map represented, but the UI is improved so that it's much better feedback on what you just did and whether it actually retained that information. I verified the fixes that it is saving your profile.
Nice.
You can leave the game, you can shut your computer off, restart it, and
That's amazing.
it's
That's
there.
huge. That's huge. We actually have a nice video. We have two videos to show off today. One from Alex on the head tracking, which we're going to touch on in a second, and also from Noah on the inputs and the same. So lots of work. It's actually a very complicated task, actually. And Noah's been working on this for quite some time because it is very involved and goes deep into the code. And we're on Unreal version 4.26, which obviously raises some additional challenges in some ways. But that is the version that works best with everything we've got. And moving to a new version of Unreal just is not feasible. It would really slow down development significantly and cause us to push things out more. And the payback just wouldn't be there. So anyways, that's why we're on 4.26. But as people will see from the latest update, which I think might be pushed either during the live stream, actually, as we speak, if you're watching this live, or later on today. But yeah, so this week's big theme is hardware. We've made progress across joysticks, flight sim support, and head tracking. We've also been continue working with a contract from Orange Blue, Alan, who's helped us smooth network lag, and that is really important for a game like this. So we're solving timing issues that comes from real-world network delays. And that results in some client-side jitter and also helps stabilize weapon events. So really excited about those optimizations. That's a big part of the phase we're at right now. We've really held back on trying to add any new features so we can polish and optimize what we've got there now. And again, most of what I'm about to discuss is going to be available either during this live stream if you're watching it live, or right after where we're pushing an update. So first, let's go into what Alex on our team has been working on. And he's actually been helping to manage a contractor, Max from Head Crash, I've mentioned a couple of times. Really, really great developer. He was part of the Epic team itself. And one of his focuses there was actually doing head tracking support. So we're very fortunate to have his help. He's been doing the heavy lifting on this code, and Alex has been helping to make sure that it integrates nicely and can be tweaked and designed appropriately within the game. We're looking forward to fan feedback on this, absolutely. But happy to say that Track IR is now fully implemented with 6 degrees of freedom. That was kind of our baseline that we wanted to do right away. We probably will look into doing some more advanced functionality there. I've been in touch with the Toby team. I'm super excited. Toby actually is going to be sending some hardware to the team so we can actually test with the latest and greatest. So big thanks to Toby. Really excited to work with them. So the team has built a unified component, so different head and edge tracking devices can be fed into the game the same way. So that's super critical. And we also added in-game settings so players do not need a separate track IR configuration, which I think is going to be super helpful. You're also going to see options to enable or disable head tracking, adjust the look angle, adjust the roll, adjust movement sensitivity, and also set movement limits. So as I mentioned, we're getting some units from Tobii. The eye tracking is next in line to polish their system. Let me play this quick video from Alex. I think I've got it right here. Let's see what this looks like. Back forward. Here we go. I think there's some audio here too. So that's Alex. You can see in the webcam there. He's not watching this live, but I'll say, "Hey, Alex." He might be watching it live actually, but I mean, his webcam is recorded. Let me see if I can maximize this so it makes it a little bit better. Look at that. Very cool. So one of the first things that Jack Mamaya said when he saw this work that Max and Alex were integrating was, holy cow, I can see why players want to have this in the game. Hopefully you get a feel of that right now. Very cool. I think we were talking to the Tobii team about some of their ideas. We're looking forward to getting some feedback from them. They're going to be testing our demo as well.
Target locked.
I know Alex had suggested a cool idea, which was to add functionality like squinting for targeting, which I think is pretty neat. It's a good comment coming in from Sky173. That's another comment from Robert.
Temperature status.
So Dave, you're going to be receiving this test hardware. I gave them your address, so I'm looking
Yeah,
forward.
looking forward to it.
Now, have you ever used head tracking in any of your projects?
No.
It's funny, but I got to say, the players that are using these devices are. Well, it sounds like once you start using it, you really can't go back.
Can't go back. Yeah. We've gotten comments from people that got really excited about the game, but one of the first questions they asked was, "Do you support head tracking?" And when we said not yet, they said, "Well, let me know when you do."
Yeah. So big, and I have to say that it's been pretty quick when we started looking at this implementation to where we are right now. So big kudos to the team and Max for his big help on this. Very excited. So after that update hits, we can update maybe the people on the Steam discussion board also. I know there was a nice thread there on this.
Mm-hmm.
So very cool. And big thanks to Alex for taking some of his time to record this video. I actually
Robert G's comment on how long he's been using it.
Here we go. He's waited. Pentium 3. Probably some of the younger gamers will not recognize what Pentium 3 stands for. That's funny. I still remember those ads.
Target locked.
Very cool. All right, I think that video is coming to a close. Thank you so much, Alex, for recording that. I want to also just remind everybody that these updates are not meant to be a really super polished kind of webinar kind of format. These really are more like, hey, this is what we've been working on. I want to show it off. So if the devs have time, I encourage them to record a quick little video or GIF that we can share. But it's nothing that we require because we want to make sure that they're focused on the game itself. And here we go. Nice. Another follow-up comment from Sky. Head tracking makes things much more immersive. It absolutely seems like that. So I'm excited to test it myself. Okay, so that's really great. So thanks a lot for all the comments and suggestions we've gotten on head tracking from the fans. And as you can see, we've been taking that to heart. And you can enjoy the first support for it in the demo today. So let us know how you think. Make sure you leverage that F8 key in the game for feedback. That is super valuable. I'm going to go over some of the feedback we've received from players towards the end of the live stream, so we can kind of look at those in a case-by-case basis, and you'll see how we have been talking about some of those items. All right, so on the input system side of things, we've been doing a lot of internal testing and cleanup. Now, obviously, when you have a project that has been in development as long as In the Black has, the original name was Starfighter Inc. So we even had a different working title back in the day. We have kind of tech debt. So it's pretty common with large projects, especially ones that have been developed for a while. So we've been doing a lot of cleanup, a lot of optimizations, and that includes editing the default profile, which now creates its own custom profile. So access binding logic is more intuitive. Auto save is fixed, as Dave just mentioned. And we're continuing to expand mapping so more peripherals work cleanly out of the box. I know that's super frustrating when players are trying to attach some of their hardware and it's not getting recognized correctly. So let me play a video we've got from Noah on this work. Just give me a second here. This video is kind of large, so I couldn't upload it beforehand, but I think I can play it live. Oh, actually, I wonder if we're going to have the same problem. Okay, so I'll try to fix this while we're talking about some other objects. So Noah's recording video in a format that doesn't play nicely in StreamYard. I forget. I had to do this last time he sent a video. So hold on. I'll try to get that fixed. We're going to play a video from Noah towards the end of live stream after I optimize that video file. Okay, but what I will tell you, though, is that networking has also reached an important milestone. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but vehicle physics are now fully server driven and client movement is being smoothed out. So this eliminates the small jitter and vertical micro jumps that you might have seen while you're playing the game. The full integration of this will roll out across the next few releases, but the foundation is now in place. So this is a huge milestone for the team. Another big win for optimization. So we're really, really happy about that work. And then again, big kudos and thanks to Alan from Ardent Blue for helping us with that, working very closely with our own Alex. On the mission and co-op side of things, Jack, director, has told me that the Bloodsport compatibility and squad vehicle selections are moving forward, so that's great. We're improving the process for picking the correct ship before deployment and tightening how vehicle data is saved and exchanged with the back end. So that is really critical as well. Moving forward, the team is focused on mission and Bloodsport improvement, and obviously that polish is going to be part of what the team works on every day. The lobby sequence will get refinement for a more intuitive matchmaking experience. Open space has been added to Bloodsport, so that's going to be optimizing that. Networking updates will continue to roll into gameplay. And obviously, we'll be tightening the input system and head tracking behaviors as feedback comes in from players. So again, please use that F8. We get so much valuable input directly from the players on this. We're a very small team. We only have a few developers working on this. So we want to leverage the community as much as possible, and that will really help us improve the game. I think Al had mentioned a little earlier about his work on adding timestamps to live streams, and that weapons tutorial is now published. Let us know if there are tutorials and other bits of content you would really love to see us produce. Nathan and Al and Dave are standing by to help record those. So let us know what you would be super helpful, and try to put your head in the frame of mind of a new player. What would be the most helpful for them? That's the biggest risk that this project has, is that players will jump into the game and have some difficulty kind of with onboarding and ramping up. All right, you want to check in on some of the comments we've got here. Yeah, here we go. Back on the head tracking, we see once you're used to it, and not having feels like playing through an empty toilet paper roll. Wow, that is that's interesting. Now, I'm not sure that's ever been uttered before in human history, but it's probably true. Yeah, Sky is confirming that. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys take away some of these questions and comments. Well, I'm going to try to move to my other machine there and try to get Noah's video corrected for smooth playback in StreamYard. Dave, Al, I think you have admin rights on this. So if you click on a comment here, it'll show up on the screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I'll let you and Dave kind of talk a little bit. Buy me a few minutes so I can try to fix this video. But you can go through some of these comments. So again, if you're watching this live, I see the bunch of you right now in the chat. Don't be shy. Feel free to post your question, comment, anything you want. And you've got some great minds here that can help kind of answer and take some of your feedback. So I'll let you guys take it from here, and I'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, the question for single player, will there be full options for bits, scenario, and skills? I'm not sure how to answer that question because I'm not sure how you're interpreting those things. From the perspective that the single player game mode has a variety of scenarios, we call them contracts. And yeah, you have full options to choose whichever contracts you want to take. The training section has the simulator missions, but even the multiplayer mode, the um, it's it'll be populated with bots automatically if there are no human players. But I'm not sure if we haven't set it up so that you could play offline. There's security issues of concern there. It's something we're investigating. But maybe you could expand on the bits and skills part of your question.
What do you think about the follow up though? The gaming on the go with no connection.
Yeah, that's I was just saying that we're investigating that. It's currently it's a security risk because your stats are on our server, and if they're on yours, then you could be cheating. We don't want to facilitate that.
Mm-mm.
So it's something that we need to look into to see how we can ensure that it's that that there's no cheating. So I know
Mhm.
that's almost impossible to stop, but we're going to try. Then there's the question on orbital mechanics. Due to the size and time duration of the scenarios, orbital mechanics are meaningless. The battle spaces are typically under 100 kilometers across, and the scenarios rarely last more than 20 minutes. And your ships are very powerful, so the orbital mechanics simply wouldn't affect anything. Gravity, on the other hand, does affect things. It's subtle because most of the scenarios are um, pretty far away from the nearest surface. The exception right now is we have Saturn's moon Enceladus, but even though it's about 500 kilometers in diameter, it doesn't produce a lot of gravitational pull. If you're flying close to the surface and you're not paying attention, it will pull you into an unplanned disassembly. um, but yeah, it doesn't take much effort to avoid crashing into the surface. Let's see, let me catch up on the comments.
I was about to say, I think there might be a good one here from Miji.
Uh, CMG Hosas is working in the demo version. Yeah, the next update should fix everything. I've just verified I've got a Hosas set up,
Mm.
and I was able to. I had no trouble at all setting up the profile, and it saved after I shut the computer off and turned it back on again. So I think we're in a good place now, and that update should happen within the hour, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first device being the only thing that was recognized, that was the issue or one of the issues, and that's been fixed. Mouse VJoy, that I can't comment on. I'll have to ask. I'll see if I can get an answer for you right away.
We got another one coming in from Commander Wolf in the UK. See, he says you could have an option on loading online or offline. If offline chosen, then the stats load in and save local. If online, then server. Have the save file be slightly different from each version. I don't think that's really. I mean, that's not necessarily the issue, though, right? I mean, it's more of like the blending of the two spaces, right?
Yeah, it's yeah, it'd be very difficult to determine that the offline file hasn't been tampered with.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of very clever people out there. So I've never quite understood why people cheat at multiplayer games, but a lot of people do.
I mean, heck, it's been there since early ages of multiplayer games, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's always somebody out there looking to get an edge.
Yeah. And chemicals wanting to be able to pitch and yaw my ship with my mouse, similar to how it's done in Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen. Okay, that's something we can definitely investigate.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. I'm pitching you. I mean,
Yeah, I thought. Well, I don't play either of those games. I should be playing Elite
I was about to
Dangerous. I
ask.
have it.
Yeah, I was like, is it any different in Star Citizen or Elite Dangerous? Like, I mean, as far as being able to look up and down, left and right,
Well, you can, but I think what they were referencing is the mouse VJoy,
Oh,
which
okay.
I thought that was a third-party app that you just ran in the background. Or there are things that do that. R1PER/mouse to VJoy is an application that converts mouse keyboard input to VJoy output.
So, I'm seeing this come in.
Oh, Alex just chimed in with the demo is essentially the offline version of the game. Right, because we're not saving stats that, well, I thought we were, because even though you don't have much to spend it on, you do earn credits, but you're not earning XP, I think. Maybe that's what he's... Alex, please expand on that. Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like having the choice of whether you're playing the offline version or the online version when you're signing in.
So maybe that is something that we can support. I will defer to the programmers.
All right, quick update. I'm almost done with that file. It's a big file. That's why it's taking a few minutes. So I got my computer chugging along back there. Should be ready in a few minutes. How are these going here?
Oh, good. We're answering some questions about support for offline play. Alex chimed in pointing out that the demo essentially is offline play.
It is.
It doesn't touch the database. So moving forward, if we could continue to support that somehow in the main game.
Well, I guess the question there also probably relates to Steam, right? So everything's kind of tied directly to Steam. So you have to have Steam running to play the game, as far as I know. I'm not sure if you can play completely offline, but it's a good question. I think some of those edge cases where there's smaller number of people who would like some of those edge functionalities, we can absolutely look at those things. It really just depends on how much time is required, right? And we have to prioritize based on what's going to impact the most number of players first. And then once everybody's happy, if we have got time, we've got enough revenue coming in from early access, then we could hit those edge cases where people who really like. And I absolutely understand it. I know there's some places in the world where online connectivity is actually a very real challenge. So definitely want to be sensitive to that.
And there was also
here we go. Yeah, Commander's actually saying that Steam runs fine offline, or the Steam Deck wouldn't. Well, yeah, that's true. The Steam Deck, but I think there are some dependencies though. But I'll confirm. And then we've got this other question here regarding early access. We covered this in the very beginning. The team is literally 2 to 4 weeks from finishing their deliverables for early access. Jack Mamias, the director of the game, he has laid out a very specific detailed list of the requirements for early access that he feels would be needed. The team has been meeting on each of those items, doing estimates. And so we think we've got 2 weeks of work left. And I'm going to pad that by saying 4 in case we hit any problems. So I think that realistically, we're a month away from being done from a code perspective. And then it comes down to when is the best timing to release the game. And that's kind of depending on marketing and just general, or do we feel like we're ready? We can, when people start playing, we're ready to handle the influx of new players. Those kinds of questions. In my mind, I think the earliest window we could really release at this point, because launching during that holiday timeframe is generally a big no-no, especially for indie games, because you're competing with many other games and titles, sales, all that other kind of stuff, which would really hurt our chances of a nice introduction. So we'll probably look at the end of January, realistically. Still only about 6 weeks away, 7 weeks away. But what I said earlier in the live stream is that if there are players out there, some more hardcore fans, like the people who watch these kind of live stream, if you are interested, we may be able to provide a key to the early access on with the give and take. There is that the give and get, I should say, is that if we give that key to you, we want to get something back, and that is really important feedback that we can use. Maybe you're giving feedback on just general game performance. Maybe you're giving feedback on missions, weapon selections, things that help us to kind of fix these tweaks. Or maybe you're producing content that would really be super helpful for a team that really has no significant marketing. So if you want to help in one of those areas, maybe we can get you in a little early. So that is my answer to that. And here's another comment. I'm just getting back into YouTube videos since Jesus, man, I'm sorry you had a heart attack. I'm glad you're okay. That's scary. I'll be featuring this game though, because it would be awesome. Well, we would love that. So let's see how we can help each other. If we're not already chatting on Discord, come to our player Discord server, discord.gg/intheblack, where Dave and Alex and the rest of the team are hanging out. And they say, hey, I think we have a channel for live stream. So you can post in there and say, hey, I was talking in today's live stream. We'd like to produce content for you.
Yeah,
we can definitely chat about that.
To something else that Commander C Wolf X UK said, just really feel the portability could be a huge seller. We agree. The game runs really well on Steam Deck already, but we need people with Steam Deck to play it. So that Valve will notice that that's happening. Apparently, that's what triggers the official review. There's not a process for us to actually request an official review, but once it's triggered, they'll let us know, and then we can get the verified badge.
The more it's played, the more it makes sense.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was going through all the Steam documentation. Okay, so how do we get this verified? And one of my colleagues who's just released his own game on Steam said, yeah, you can't. Yeah, Valve will let you know.
Exactly. You don't tell us, we tell you.
Oh, some nice support from fans. And that goes obviously to the Commando Seawolf X UK. So we just have a great community. I'm blown away every day by how awesome our community players is. so happy to have you on this journey with us. Look at this. We got our lead engineer, Noah, who I'm uploading the video right now that you produced. So it's done getting fixed. So we'll play that in a minute. But Noah, we have looked into VJoy control scheme internally. It might make it in sooner rather than later, but can't make any promises. So that's fantastic.
Yay.
And then further on Steam Deck, our other programmer, Alex, is watching. Hey, Alex, and Noah. Steam Deck is such an amazing console. It really is. I think Jack has said on his live stream he prefers playing on Stream Deck, which is insane. This is a designer of crisis. So crazy. He says that Steam Deck is better to play than PC. But I think that's also a great testament to Steam and the way they designed the Steam Deck, and also the controls that you guys have all worked on together. I think Jack had worked on this a lot, actually, giving feedback on the controls. That really does make it really, really impactful.
Oh, nice.
Look at this. Input system patches on the way, pilots. Started building a few minutes ago. T-minus 40. I love this, that we're able to give these live updates. This is why this live stream is so fun to do. It actually is a real mission briefing. You're hearing live from the dev team in real time. And I often say that I really don't want the dev team working on the weekends. I think that time with to recharge is so valuable. So extra thanks to these guys for jumping in and getting that update out for you guys. I know they were trying to shoot for it yesterday, so they're working extra hard. And I think the community knows that and really appreciates it. So yeah, here we go. Alex is saying, "Hey, would have come on the live stream, but we're working hard on the release." Well, listen, keep doing what you're doing. I think the players would probably much more prefer having the update. And you guys are always welcome to come on, of course. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to see if this is done uploading. It is. Okay. Let me see if we can get this going. Okay, this is a video from Noah on the input system. Let me see if third time's a charm here. Oh, I gotta actually download it on this machine. So hold on one second. I spoke a little too soon. All right. So, Dave, you have that new hardware from Logitech, right?
From Thrustmaster.
I'm sorry, the Thrustmaster. And we haven't posted this publicly yet, but you shared a nice, really picture the other day of the setup, and it's pretty awesome. It's great. Those are really cool. How heavy do they feel? Do they feel like
they're substantial?
So they don't move around on your desk.
Oh no, yeah, they. I haven't gotten really excited in a life or death situation, and I prefer joysticks like this because they fit my hands better. Because normally when I play console games, I get into a death grip on the gamepad, and after a while it hurts. I need to do breathing exercises or something.
Yeah, I would love to see actually some fans of the game. If you're a HOTAS player, I would love to see you kind of sharing your experience with the game and our controls, especially after this new update that's hitting today. There's a couple of great subreddits. I haven't seen too many players posting on In the Black, and it's always better if players are posting there, right, as opposed to the dev team. So it'd be great if you want to share your experience with HOTAS and the controllers and the overall game experience and some of those other subreddits. Would really help get more visibility on the game. Okay, cool. I think where is this going? All right, I think I've got it. All right, let me see if this plays. Okay, looks like it's going to play this time. All right, here we go. So this is the, thanks for everybody's patience here. This is the video that our lead coder, Noah, who's been chatting with us about this update that's going live in a few minutes. This is what he prepared for you all this week to show progress that he's been making on the input system. This covers the release, I think, that is going live in a few minutes. Let's take a look. Let me see if I can make the screen big for everybody.
Hey everyone, Noah here. I'm going to give you a brief update on the input system, which should be out imminently, if not by the time you see this video clip. On my desk, I have various joystick input devices. I also have rudder pedals under my desk. In my current setup, I have two Solar 2s in left-hand mode, so they have a device conflict. They are reporting as the same device, and that's to test that the system can handle instances of a device properly. In the middle, I have the Solar 4 HOTAS setup. It's reporting right. That's its own, and that also has the rudder pedals connected to it. And then on my right, I have the Sci-Tech X52, which is older, and it just is what it is. Beyond that, I don't have enough USB ports, and there start to become power delivery issues getting power to all these peripherals. So I'm just going to go through and bind some standard controls real quick, and then that should be it. Okay, so we go to input, and let's just go top to bottom, vehicle forward. I'm going to do an axis bind. I'm going to do forward on my left. Oh. What is axis for on the HOTAS? It's that. Okay. So you want to make sure your dials are set to neutral positions. Sometimes some of them don't get captured. So that's the left stick. We'll do throttle here. Okay, so we got throttle. And then new axis bind, throttle on the HOTAS. So we have 3 throttle inputs working. Cool. We'll do pitch. So axis there. Axis there. There. So that works. That works. That works. Okay. I'll just do roll. Roll. Spine. Test. Those two work. That works. All right. Then I'll just do damping. 4. Button 4. And rotational damping. 8. Oh, I'm bound. But that makes sense. So instance 1 and 2 both have button 38. So I should be able to press those. Yep. That's detected properly. All right. I only want to see the HOTAS. I can only see the HOTAS. Cool. Let me make sure all my throttles are in position. We should be able to the ship. Got stuff. Okay, there we go. So I can roll, pitch. I can use the throttle. Everything should work. Oh, turned off damping. Yeah, going and setting the curves and the range and stuff. Let me just jump back in there real quick. So for throttles, this will be the last thing I cover. So right now we have Solar 6 or Solar throttle is reporting correctly, where 0 is all the way back and 1, but the HOTAS comes in from 1. Oh, actually, it seems to be doing what it should do. I remembered. Okay, so I did a test video before this. So if it went to full range, normally they start where full forward is -1 or in the opposite direction. Like middle is 0, which is not what you want. So you can use, it depends on your device, but you can use the range to limit it to just 0 to 1, and then the inverted 0 to -1 version of that. It can be a little finicky, but you just play around with it, change it a couple times, switch invert back and forth to get it the direction you want. Green is positive, red is negative. That's as complex as it gets. Please give us all your feedback once you get your hands on it. Let us know what you think. Would love to hear from you. We will be making some improvements, especially to some inconsistencies with this advanced axis config area. You can also export and should be able to share between users. You just need to grab whatever their export is and make sure it's in the import folder. We'll be adding some defaults to those to the profile system for standard joysticks as we get time to create them. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and see you in the black.
I love that. Wow. Well, thank you, Noah, for spending the time recording that. That's amazing. So all you HOTUS fans out there, you should be able to dig into this momentarily in the live update. While we were chatting, it looks like while we look at Noah's video, a couple other questions came in. One question: will the game system requirements stay the same? Will they change once early access comes out? Well, obviously, we're always trying to optimize, but I would say that the requirements, this is coming straight from Alex, should be the same. The demo is identical to the main game in terms of tech, but not design. And obviously the game runs on Steam Deck, which is a great testament also to the optimizations. The performance is very nice. Here's another comment coming in on YouTube. Can't wait to test my HOTUS. That's awesome. And the Discord link, I think we have, let me see. I think we have a little graphic. We can play this on the screen. Where is it? I think these are all our socials, but basically where you want to go is discord.gg/intheblack. That's discord.gg/intheblack, and you will get to our Discord server. Let us know if you have any problems, of course. And let me see. Is there anything else coming up?
I'll post a link in the chat.
Okay, great. Yeah. Fantastic.
Oh,
let us know if you have any questions. Oh, go ahead.
It didn't let me post it.
Oh, probably because you're not admin. Here, let me, I can do it. And in the black. So it's really easy to get in. Just the name of the game after discord.gg, or you can use, I believe this one will work. Let me double check. Let me test this link really quick. Yes, it works. Okay, so you can use this link, put it in the comments. There you go. There's an invite for In the Black, posted to Twitch and YouTube. X does not let us kind of post the comments there, but we're streaming there as well right now. So we're watching on X. Thanks for watching. Okay, I think that covers it. I'm sure a bunch of you want to get in and download the latest update to the demo. We covered a lot of things today. Obviously, network optimizations, eye tracking support, peripheral support with the input system and saving. Nice update to live streaming to make it easier to watch from Al. Lots of testing going on. Dave and others in the team testing hardware. Really excited about getting Toby's a partnership on this. So they're sending us hardware to test. Thank you so much, Toby, for that. And thank you for Thrustmaster again for being such a great partner and providing us some hardware for this testing that we're, as you can see, we're making good use of right now. And again, to mention the date we're shooting for early access is probably the end of January, probably the best timing from a marketing and launch perspective. Actually, to be honest, that's not even the best time. The best time is probably February or March, but we don't want to keep fans waiting any longer. The earliest we can do it with the least possible kind of ramifications would be the end of January. That's after the Christmas holidays slow down a little bit and the sales are over. So we definitely don't want to do that. That's kind of, that's danger zone for us, competing with all those big budget spends on marketing. So end of January, I think we're still going to take a hit and less exposure by going so close to the holidays, but I think that's a risk that the team.
Nah, everybody will want to celebrate my birthday. So if we release it on my birthday, then
when's your birthday?
January 18th.
18th. All right. It's possible. Okay, what day of the week is that? You know? Let's check. Very funny if we try.
That would be Sunday.
Oh, we can't launch it this Sunday. That's out.
Oh man.
Maybe Monday. Maybe the 19th. Very cool. All right, and I'm going to look see any more last comments here. Okay, here's a reply from Noah. I put it on screen so everybody can see. This is regarding. Okay, actually, let me back up. This is from a question from Robert earlier. If you have two devices with the same ID, then you probably use the Windows sort, right? Can we swap them around if Windows resorts them? And Noah is saying to that, if they resort, you'll likely have to replug to get them back in the right order or swap sticks. We can add better dual device swapping support as we move forward. That's great. I'm going to post the rest of this conversation. That's cool. Just wanted to know whether you also added that. It seems like you added everything in that patch. That's amazing. And then here we go. Commander Wolf has posted on Discord. Thanks for having me. Well, thanks you for your offer to help produce some content. And what we could do actually in this case, maybe we can set up a little gameplay with the team. Just to ask some questions and help you get all the right stuff covered. All right, here we go. Final comment possibly on the stream. I love that your optimization puts all the big boys to shame. Well, listen, man, that's not our goal. We want to do the best we can, obviously.
But we'll take it.
Yeah.
Well, it's really fun. I mean, listen, you said it. I mean,
Exactly. You said it.
But we this is a passion project. As those who have been following the game, or if you're a new player to the game, this is a passion project by the team. Something that we dedicate a lot of our own sweat equity into it, and you're a big reason why we're doing this, because we're just getting inspired and motivated by seeing all the players like you who are really excited about such a unique take on space combat and us leveraging realistic physics, Newtonian physics in the gameplay. So really thanks to everybody for watching today. I always say try to make these live streams about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That never pans out. We always end up chatting about much more stuff, but I love it. If you have anything you want to make sure we cover on the next live stream, just let us know on the Discord server and the live streams channel. Big thank you to everyone watching, whether you're watching live, you watch this as a replay, really appreciate that. And please keep the feedback coming using the in-game support system, that FAQ, all important FAQ. That is so valuable. I can't tell you. We read every single one of those comments, every single one. I'm not saying go ahead and just say hi, because we want to make sure we're not wasting time there, but we read every single one of them. It's okay if you say hi once in a while. But the main thing there is that we go through those comments regularly. We prioritize them. The team will respond to them in real time, actually, internally. So we see a comment coming in, we're like, oh my God, it's a great comment or a good suggestion. So really glad to have that in there. Let me see if there's any other notes I have here that I wanted to mention. Let me see, I can go really quick. Okay, just as an overall summary, I had written this out before, but didn't have time to cover it earlier. As a really quick summary on some of the feedback we've gotten in the last 2 weeks. Only looked at the last 2 weeks of feedback, so really the last couple of updates, because obviously older feedback is not as applicable anymore. So a little less than half the feedback we've been getting the last 2 weeks is regarding input. So that's a big reason for today's big update on the game. Thanks to Alex and Noah and the rest of the team for working on that and testing, and all the work goes into that. As you can see from Noah's video, it's very complicated and there's a lot of moving pieces there. So it's not easy to get right. So we're getting a lot closer. This big patch, I think, brings a big step forward. So that's about half the feedback we've been getting. And that the second biggest feedback we get is regarding tutorials and mission flow. So a lot of players are in this category reporting that objectives don't complete. These lock-on steps that fail, inconsistent collision in drone stages and conquest matches where AI won't engage. So that's the next kind of highest level of feedback we're getting. So that's super helpful and helps us really optimize and fix any bugs in the levels and elsewhere. In the early access build, we will be pushing more and more players towards the tutorials. So that's such an important step in getting inside this game correctly. So the in-game news panel, which Remco has been working on, and big shout out to Remco. He's spending some really valuable time with his family right now. So our wishes and thoughts are with him. But he's been doing a lot of work also on the in-game news panel. So there's going to be easy links to short mechanic videos to really get an idea of how to play the game correctly. And a combat section has been added to tutorial, because that's another question we get, and which weapons to use and things like that. So broader AI changes are probably unlikely before the early access build. That's a lot of work, but the feedback is still taken very seriously, and we're going to prioritize that along with all the other feedback. So obviously there's things we need to get done for early access to launch, and then there's stuff that we can do during early access. So that's what the team's kind of reprioritizing now and shuffling. The third biggest group of feedback has to do with weapons and combat behavior. For example, some tracking guns visually continue firing after destruction, right? Tracer beams appear from the wrong position, and certain weapons stop responding until the ship is repaired. So those are things we definitely want to address. Jack has told us that the HUD and weapon improvements have already gone in. The firing after destruction bug is rare and kind of hard for us to reproduce. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And if we can reproduce it, obviously that's a lot easier. So if you have reproduction steps, that's always super helpful. When you press that F8 key, just tell us exactly how we can reproduce it. And that will give us a really, really big head start on fixing that. No major weapon work is expected before we launch an early access. So feedback we get on that will be prioritized for work during early access. And again, I mentioned this before, but we want to get out of early access as quick as possible. The idea with early access is show what we've got, the content, and get the feedback from those big fans that want to get in early with early access, and then try to get out of there. My goal is within 6 months, but I think realistically 6 months to a year is when most games try to get early access, and I think that's good goal for us as well. The fourth biggest chunk of feedback we got in the last 2 weeks has to do with handling and physics. So reports mentioned excessive spin, inconsistent dampening, difficulty chasing targets under Newtonian physics, and requests for all ahead or full stop style controls. So Jack tells me on this stuff, sensitivity settings on mouse and joystick can fix much of this. And adding the guidance to the video section is under consideration. So we hope to handle some of this feedback with tutorials and training. The full stop works on the Strike, but it won't be expanded to other ships before early access. Players will be able to learn this more with more experience. And I think the last area of feedback we've been getting in the last 2 weeks has to deal with user interface and quality of life issues. So also very important. For example, the post-match feedback button fails for some players. We've seen the HUD can blur after respawn. The controller setup needs refinement. The screenshot submission isn't available. So post-match issues have been addressed and are now in testing. The controller setup's definitely improved, obviously. We've been talking a lot about that. Screenshot submission is a little bit more challenging for us to do because of the way our feedback system is and some limitations we have on Real Engine 4.26. However, Alex, we talked about this on previous live stream, has implemented kind of an ID to your submission. So you can copy that ID. There's a button there to copy it on the feedback form. Go to Discord, put in that ID. We have a bug area. Westman, I think, is very active in this area. Put in the bug ID and then just attach your screenshot there on Discord, because Discord can take screenshots and videos easily. So attach it to your submission. If you forget to copy and paste it, just let us know, hey, I submitted this around this time frame. Can you try to match it to this? That's super helpful. The picture obviously speaks 1,000 words, so I understand that. It was my goal to try to incorporate screenshots or videos, but we just couldn't figure that out in time for early access. So hopefully we'll get something more robust in during early access. Okay, last words from Jack Ramias, unless we have any other comments coming in, but he wanted me to share that the team is focused on getting Bloodsport working with early access maps, finalizing all single-player missions, replacing Interdiction with Ship Strike for early access cycle, and advancing joystick support as far as possible. Our stretch goals do include the player retention mechanic and potentially an in-game store. That means that people who want to buy custom skins, custom audio, anything like that just doesn't affect gameplay, but it's more about making the ship more your own. Where that's a stretch goal to have in time for early access or shortly after. I think that's going to be super important actually to help not only players feel like their ships are their own, but also help provide some needed revenue to help do more with the game during early access. about half of the current reports, like I said, are input related. So so we're working on that day to day, and I think we'll be able to address most of that from your feedback after today. So let us know what you think. Okay, actually, we've mentioned Bloodsport a bunch of times, and for any new players, maybe Dave, you want to kind of give a quick overview of what Bloodsport is. People have not really gotten into it in the game yet.
Right. It's the Megacore sponsored arena combat. So it's not realistic combat scenarios that you would encounter during a war necessarily, although some of them are scripted that way. Others are more like a sports contest and reflect a lot of common multiplayer game modes. So team deathmatch, conquest modes. But others are more asymmetrical with the starting positions and the locations of things, but maybe have symmetrical objectives still. It currently reliably supports 5 versus 5, and yeah, it's really my favorite game mode.
Awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of players too. All right, before we head off, any last words from Al or Dave?
We gotta start thinking about these, Al. We need to have pithy one-liners to finish these
know,
games with.
No,
Pull up my script over here. No.
it is super helpful to have you guys here. So thanks for joining me for this. As I said, it's really important for the team to kind of recharge over the weekend. So I really appreciate you taking the time out to do this. We're going to close out. Let me see. I'm going to play. And Nathan had done this little sizzle reel for live streams. If these live streams are helpful and informative or fun, it'd be really helpful if you like this video. It helps other players discover it. Also, subscribe to the channel. That's also very impactful. Get word out about the game, helping the algorithm there on streaming platforms for more discoverability. So it would be a big help for us if you did that. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, it'd be huge if you release some other video clips and your feedback on the game online. Interact with other new players on Steam discussion forum on our Discord, but as well. But I was like, if you're going to focus your help with other players, go to Steam first, because I think that's where most new players are going to be chatting about the game. And if there are other places that you're a member of in Reddit, like subreddits, like the HOTUS one or the Space Sim one, absolutely, we'd be super appreciative if you spread the word there. All right, we're going to close out with this little live stream sizzle. It's been a joy, an honor to be with you all today. I hope you have the rest of the great weekend. I'm going to close out with this, and I hope to see you next time. And until then, thank you.
See you next week.
Corporations, at least at the moment, are not out for blood. They're merely trying to sabotage each other.
Alex could give us a brief teaser on the SciNet system.
Dude, there's no way.
And when we did the research, we found out the buttons have to be big and clunky because you have these big gloves on.
Right.
In your cockpit, you're wearing a radiation
I
suit.
hope you like the direction this went and is going.
The launching ship's velocity is transferred to the missiles that it launches.
It's not Star Wars. It's not
Yeah.
Star Wars, right?
We've also been working on night vision or augmented vision, which helps players navigate really dark areas.
Thank you, everybody. And Edmar, too much
Yeah.
is better than not enough.
Yes.